Pop quiz 4. Two late-stage terminal drug addicts sat up against an alley's wall with nothing to inject and no means and nowhere to go or be. Only one had a coat. It was cold, and one of the terminal drug addict's teeth chattered, and he sweated and shook with fever. He seemed gravely ill. He smelled very bad. He sat up against the wall with his head on his knees. This took place in Cambridge, Massachusetts, in an alley behind the Commonwealth Aluminum Can Redemption Center on Massachusetts Avenue in the early hours of 12 January 1993. The terminal drug addict with the coat took off the coat and scooted up close to the gravely ill terminal drug addict and took and spread the coat as far as it would go over the both of them, and then scooted over some more and got himself pressed right up against him and put his arm around him and let him be sick on his arm. And they stayed like that up against the wall together all through the night. Question: which one lived? Pop quiz 6. Two men, X and Y, are close friends, but then Y does something to hurt, alienate, and or infuriate X. They had been very close. In fact, X's family had almost sort of adopted Y when Y arrived in town alone and had no family or friends yet and got a position in the same department of the same firm X worked for, and X and Y work side by side and become close compadres, and before long Y is usually over at X's house hanging out with the X family just about every night after work, and this goes on for quite some time. But then Y does X some kind of injury, like maybe writing an accurate but negative peer evaluation of X at their firm, or refusing to cover for X when X makes a serious error in judgment and gets himself in trouble and needs Y to lie to cover for him somehow. The point is that Y's done some honorable/upright thing that X sees as a disloyal and or hurtful thing, and X is now totally furious at Y, and now when Y comes over to X's family's house every night to hang out as usual, X is extremely frosty to him, or witheringly snide, or sometimes even yells at Y in front of the X family's wife and kids. In response to all which, however, Y simply continues to come over to X's family's house and to hang around and take all the abuse X dishes out, nodding sort of studiously in response, but not saying anything or in any other way responding to X's hostility. On one particular occasion, X actually screams at Y to get the hell out of his family's house and kind of half hits half slaps Y right in front of one of the family's kids, hard enough to make Y's glasses fall off. And all Y does by way of response is hold his cheek and nod sort of studiously at the floor while he picks his glasses up and repairs a bent arm hinge as best he can by hand. And even after this, he still continues to come around and hang out at X's house like an adopted member of the family, and to just stand there and take whatever X dishes out in retaliation for whatever it is Y apparently did to him.